Hello Disney Dreamers, welcome or welcome back. I'm Cress. Thanks for joining me as we bring a little bit of 1920s glam to the Glade of Trust. Today we'll be giving TIANA'S palace the fabulous, luxurious entrance such a gorgeous building deserves. We'll also be stepping back in time to create a classic train station and a cozy little vintage restaurant on the bayou. If you enjoy cozy vibes or you're here for inspo, please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on more speed builds and walkthroughs. Thank you so much if you've already subscribed. So let's start designing. My first thought was to create an elaborate pathing design to really set the tone for the build. If you've seen some of my other videos, particularly the Desert Palace one, you'll know that I really enjoy playing with different types of pathing and patterns. While I don't really like the giant gap between paths when you mix and match, I actually really liked the way it ended up looking for this build. I decided to go with the Main Street path since it really matches the front of TIANA'S palace quite well, and I also used the white brick path to complement the cream accents on the building. Then I went in and added the gold and opal road to add a bit of extra luxury. This is the beginning of a path to the restaurant and train station, as you'll see later. While there's plenty of water in the glade, I really wanted to have an elegant brick bridge leading up to the restaurant courtyard. The rock bridges just weren't cutting it, so I made these water rugs with lily pads and a brick rug to go between them. I used this loose gravel path to line each water rug to make it look more like a structured, man-made pond. You may wonder why on earth I bothered putting the mud path underneath the brick rug, but I just have to say I absolutely hate it that digging spots can spawn underneath rugs and you have to go into furniture mode and remove them and then get out of furniture mode just to dig out the hole. A path underneath ensures that a digging spot will never spawn. Call it a tip if you want, or maybe it's just my pet peeve. Okay, so originally I had fully intended to use the new wrought iron fence throughout this entire area, but I was just a little short on fencing, so I mixed it with the brick fence posts, and honestly I love it. It makes the wrought iron fence look even better when it's mixed with the brick posts. And the brick matches TIANA'S palace too, so it's a win-win. I'll warn you now, there is no rhyme or reason to how many wrought iron posts I put in between. I just kind of threw them down in a way that looked nice to my eyes, which of course ended up backfiring because I had to move this entire section over. If you're recreating this build in your valley, feel free to make your fencing more uniform if that's what you like. The one thing I don't like about some of the fencing in this game is that if you pull the fence out to where you want it to go, the pieces won't be symmetrical. This is one of those fences that drives me nuts. That's why for this section and the same one across the courtyard, I put down each post one at a time because it created a nice uniform look. These fountain tiles are so nice to add a little bit of extra splash to the fountains in this game. There are so many pretty fountains now, but I've been waiting for the right build to use this gorgeous Ratatouille fountain, and this definitely felt like the perfect build for it. I almost used the Disney Park benches for this seating area, but I think they're the wrong shade of green, so I just went with a classic park bench, but honestly that fits a 1920s vibe more anyway. These potted plants from the new Seaside bundle are everything. They absolutely fit the Roaring 20s vibe. I'm already working on an updated conservatory build in my house, and I use these plants everywhere. I used them everywhere for this build too. Oswald's car is also the absolute perfect fit for this build. I'm so glad that we have it. I would love to have other cars in the game though. Honestly, more vintage cars would be amazing. I ended up pulling this rug forward because I wanted it to flow right into the main street path, but of course that meant I had to redo the fencing, which was kind of a pain, but I do like the way it looks better. Now for some foliage. I went pretty light on the bushes here with just 2 of them here at the front. I made liberal use though of those black glass flower planters. I don't know why, but I just feel like they are the ultimate in elegance. I used the round planters in the courtyard and the rectangular ones at the front of the build. I also love the vintage feel of these lampposts from the Royal Winter Star Path. I went in and I added some greenery and rocks to the ponds, but it's honestly these lily pads that really make it seem authentic. These things are so magical. You will definitely be seeing them all throughout my valley for the foreseeable future. And I love that we got ones that can go on land and ones that can go in the water. And lastly, the Dune Palms were the final touch on this courtyard. They give me such vintage Hollywood vibes, which of course is nowhere near New Orleans, but still, I just feel like they really gave the exact look I was going for this build, glamorous and luxurious. This moss-covered tree also gives me 100% Louisiana vibes, so I used it all over this build, as you will soon see. told you I use these plants everywhere. After going in and adding some greenery, I kept the brick path going here for the flooring of my train station. I added these crates and phonograph to suggest the idea of a bustling train station, so I used these all throughout. I just want to take a moment to say that I absolutely detest how much plastic is required to craft these railroad tracks. It took me so many hours of fishing with Goofy just to get enough to craft this, and I still didn't get as many as I wanted. Okay, that's all. Mini rant over. This Disney Parks entrance building is so versatile, it can literally be used for so many things. I thought it was the perfect item for my train station, and I saw quite a few builds of other people who did something similar. Can I just say how happy I am that we have a search bar? That rocky terrain was such a pain to filter to finally find, and now I can just type it in. It makes it such a breeze. The last part of this build is my cozy vintage outdoor restaurant with TIANA'S stall. I went for slightly simpler pathing here, but I still used the same 3 paths. I've also never used this sauna rocks item in the game before, but I kind of liked how it looked with the fountain tile underneath it. I used these hedge corners to section off the restaurant, and then I went in with wrought iron fencing all around. But I also wanted gaps so I didn't fill it completely all the way around, so that diners could look at the water while enjoying their meal. And the final touch on this build was the fireflies. I absolutely adore this item. It is by far my favorite item in the game. Obviously it fits the Bayou vibes perfectly, but it's also 100% fairy core in my opinion, so I've got fireflies all over my valley. I love them. And that's it for this build. I know I mentioned in my post that I'd be doing a combined build with TIANA'S house, but I didn't want this video to be too long. So I'll be posting TIANA'S house speed build tomorrow, and it will include a walkthrough of this entire area. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all the views, likes, and comments. You are all so wonderful and supportive, and I'm so grateful that you enjoy my videos. If you enjoyed this video and haven't subscribed yet, please consider clicking that subscribe button. Thanks friends, I'll see you with my next video.